Welcome back to week 3 of my journey learning mouse and keyboard, coming from Xbox with over 6,000 hours on Destiny 2 alone. This week is probably the most exciting week so far that I've recorded, and genuinely am optimistic to post this video because I felt comfortable. Like when I played this weekend, there was a lot of times when I was thinking that was a good play, and not just that was a good play for mouse and keyboard or while I'm learning, like genuinely, that was just a good play. And a lot of that comes from, even though I'm still missing shots and my mechanics are still leave much to be desired, I'm starting to learn the game, I suppose. And again, I had 6,000 hours on Xbox, so I knew or know a lot of the interactions and how things work and how people play. I just never really thought about it when I played. I kind of, again, just ran in and didn't really think about what I was doing. So this week there's a lot of situations, and I'm going to go over a couple of them in particular that I was like, wow, I actually thought about what was happening, and it was a good play. The first one I'm going to bring up was during my flawless card, or what ended up being my flawless card. There's a game, and it was the first round, so I'm just going to play the clip right now on my end. So in this clip, at the time of recording this, I actually saw my teammate alone in mid, and I saw the radar pings, so I went to help him, which is something I normally wouldn't do. I wouldn't really care. I mean, I might go towards the radar pings. And then in this situation, I actually hit all shots, all my headshots, which is nice. It feels good when you do that, but that's not something necessarily I can rely on currently. And then the good part of this play is I saw the radar ping of this dude rotating to get his teammates' reses, and then I ran out, used my melee to hit him behind the wall to stop the res, and get trench barrel, and then kill him with my hand cannon shotgun. And like just this whole interaction here is something I never would have done on Xbox, and not necessarily because it was Xbox, just again, part of this journey is me learning how to play the game, not just a new input device. And right there, like that felt like a genuinely good play, and it was just nice that I hit all my shots, other than a couple hand cannon shotgun shots, which I'm still struggling to hit, but it worked out, and that was good, and it ended up helping me get towards my flawless. And then later in this exact same game, towards the end on the final round, I got another, well, not really a 1v3, my teammates were still alive, but I got all 3 kills in the round. And I don't know if inherently this is as good of a play, but as I get this first kill, which admittedly is quite sloppy, and then I'm weak and I hide in the cubby, but I managed to isolate someone who was distracted, and I actually thought about the fact that he was shooting my teammate before I pushed that, because otherwise that would have been a bad play if he had a shotgun out. And then it just happened to work out where I was able to get all 3 with a punch. And that's kind of a trend, I guess, I've been having this weekend, is there's been a lot of melee kills. And a lot of that's due to the build that I'm using. I'm using an Arc Titan and Knockout, and then a hand cannon shotgun, which is unable to one-shot, so you need some form of follow-up in order to kill them. But I think I might need to switch to something else that requires a little more accuracy, because the punching mechanics in this game admittedly don't take very much mechanical skill, and it's not really helping me learn anything at this point for me to just shoot a shot and immediately follow up with a melee that lunges from 30 meters away. But besides those 2 plays, there was a couple other times where I was hitting peak shots, which is something that I knew how to do on Xbox, but significantly worse than I'm able to do it on PC. And it was something that felt natural, I guess, now. When on Xbox I would kind of have to go out of my way to force peak shots into engagements, and I'd really have to focus on it, so it wasn't overly helpful. So those are 2 things I've noticed this weekend happening a lot, which has been amazing and a great start for my return. This probably still would have been a weekend I would have done better on Xbox. I don't think I'm quite to the point yet where I am now better on PC than I am on Xbox, but I'm getting close, and I only have about 40 hours in game. And, you know, some of that's lobby time, so I feel like I'm improving quite quick. But compared to what I had on Xbox, it's essentially nothing, less than 1%. So, with that being mentioned for this week, and going over the specific plays for the weekend, I really just want to highlight the fact that I was able to go flawless, and kind of easily. It took me 25 games. I do actually have a Google Doc that I made with all of my games. And basically it took me 26 games to go flawless, and at the time of going flawless I went with a record of 18 and 8, and then had a 1.46 KD and then a 2.1 KDA for the first 26 games. And then after that I played a couple games in the flawless pool, Every single one of them, I played 26 to 35. So I played 9 games. All 9 of them were duos, like a duo and a solo on each team. So I don't know if that's just because it's a flawless pool or what that's about, but the matchmaking there was a little bit wacky. Not exactly sure what that's about, and it kind of was tanking my stats. So I think I mentioned it before, but in case I didn't, I ended the weekend with a 1.13 KD, which is still positive and is a big improvement over last week, where I was definitely still in the negatives. Also this week, I didn't just play trials, I also played competitive, kind of just like last week, except I'm gonna put it all in the same video instead of combining it. So the competitive stats I put into a Google Sheets. I only played 14 games, and I ended up with, I guess I got to do the math, so this won't make the video, but I have... Okay, I just did the math quickly. So, for the competitive games I played this week, I only played 14 of them, but I ended up with an average KDA of 1.874, which, comparing that to last weekend's average KDA of 0.864, I had again, huge increase on my stats for the week. And I ended the play session, or play sessions plural, with a positive win rate. I won 2 more games than I lost. So the statistics are showing I'm making significant improvement, and quite rapidly. So at this point, I'm not quite ready to, get into the realm of doing 3 stacks, because that is a significantly harder feat, I would argue, than doing solo queue. But I'm getting to the point where I think I'm ready to, start implementing a little more difficult loadouts and trying things that are a little more high skill, like sniping, as controversial as that opinion may be, and really get into the VOD reviews and thinking about how to improve not my mechanics anymore, because that's starting to get to where I'd want it to be. I mean, my aim could always get better, but that's always going to be the case. But kind of at the point now where it's how do I make my gameplay better, and if I can do that, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to reach my end goal probably sooner than I thought. I mean, maybe within a matter of months, instead of what I was thinking might be a year-long journey, which to a sense kind of makes sense. I mean, I have the knowledge, I've played this game, I have the hours put in. It's just now a matter of wielding those hours and fine-tuning and actually thinking about what I'm doing and becoming a player that thinks about what they do instead of just running in and using Destiny to shut my brain off. So again, this is the first video I'm kind of excited to post. This has been kind of fun to film and create the video for, because I have clips and I have things I want to show, and I feel like I did well. And I know you might look at the KD, the one in the thumbnail, as 1.34, and that's just the couple games after I went flawless. It did drop from there, but it's still positive. Again, it's not great. It's not one of those 3.0 KDs like some other YouTubers have, but it's a start, and considering where I was at just 3 weeks ago is, to me, impressive, and I feel really happy with it. So that's the update for the week, and I think where I'm going to go with this is I'm going to try and do a VOD review of my game, because I do feel like that'll help me, and I think it's also kind of interesting to watch or listen to, so to speak. So I'm just going to pull up one of my trials games, because they are a little bit quicker. Okay, so we're starting with game 20 here. And with game 20, first thing I'm noticing looking at this back, I did this a lot throughout the week. I should not be peeking mid lane. As I'm watching this right now, I got a decent nade kill. I threw it in the cubby. He was weak for my teammates and he died. That was nice. And then I pushed the Swifty kid, and unfortunately my aim, again, that's where the mechanics could come in. I got the kill, it worked out. And then naturally his teammate was left in a 1v3. I just kind of cleaned him up as he was running away from my teammates there. So that was a good first round. It's a good start to the game. Getting 3 kills is always a morale booster, certainly. This one, jumping down a toilet bowl, I don't really love this. It can work out, especially if your teammates are distracting the down low area and they kind of go in from the tunnels, which my team didn't in this case. So again, I'm just kind of peeking bad angles to start. But I managed to get out of there. I didn't die. I got a couple shots in. I'm not really, nothing too upsetting there. It just is what it is. Right now it's good. I'm playing with my teammate. I like the fact that I'm playing close with him, and I'm not exactly sure if this turns into a kill or not, but just being with him is always going to be better than away. Looks like we're kind of just losing zone here, so I kind of have no choice but to push down, and I left my teammate to kind of push in by himself. Luckily he got a trade, but it's not looking too hopeful for me. At this point, I'm not so sure if you should play your KD. I'm not really sure how this works. I don't think there's any chance I ever kill both of them dropping down from toilet bowl before they cap. So I think it's acceptable to play my KD here. I mean, not that I'm intentionally playing for stats. That's not what my goal is. But yeah, and I end up dying anyway. But I just don't think it's worth feeding them the super energy. So that second round is, again, I just peeked the wrong angles to start. I think that was a key theme for both of them. And it looks like I think I'm going to peek mid every single round here, so we'll see. It works out better when the zone isn't in mid, because then it's more of a flank angle. And, okay, that was a good nade, because it checks if anyone's around the corner. And then, yeah, I just finished off a kill that my teammates got weak, so that was a good flank. It worked out well. I peeked mid, and I think it's tolerable to do that when the zone is in cave, so I'm not upset about that round. This is heavy round. This one I feel like I have to play Cubby in, because I need to get close, because I really want to be able to stop heavy. I got a really good team shot with my team peeking mid, which I don't like peeking mid, and I do think it's bad, but it worked out again. It worked out the round. That's kind of the moral of the story for this game, is what it seems like, is I peek mid. It shouldn't work out, or it's something that I shouldn't do, but it does, and so it ends up working in my favor. I just think moving forward that it's a bad idea. I should play more around cover and less in a spot where it's an easy sniper lane. Team kill on Swifty. Me and my teammate go, we push together flanking. I mean, this is just textbook. You get the pick, you collapse as a team. It's all good. Looks like I hit a decent jump shot there. I didn't see the damage number go through, but it looks like I hit it. So that's all good. Nothing to talk about with that round, really. Okay, I changed up the angle I'm going to. I like that. I think it's bad to play the same angle every single time. So I see my teammate traded here, and I really wanted to not let them get the res, because obviously there's a res of ours in the middle and a res of theirs in the middle. So I was hoping to make it a 2v2 or keep it a 2v2. I was just too slow. I feel like if I just played slower with my teammate, we actually would have had a chance playing the 2v3 instead of me just, you know, playing for the trade. Yeah. So next round, again, I'm peeking mid, but at least I'm playing with my team. I feel like playing with your team is probably more important. If you're peeking bad angles, as long as you're doing it with your team, it can work out. So, playing mid with my team. I got a couple shots on this dude on Snoob, and so I'm trying to capitalize on it, but just didn't end up hitting my shots. Again, it'll happen. I don't know if that trade should have happened, really. I think I was lucky. Obviously, I just missed there. He would have died if I hit my shots, and then same there. That was kind of just me missing, but that'll happen. It's not something I can rely on. I want to put myself in a spot where I don't have to completely just rely on mechanics. That's the whole point of switching to PC and trying to get better at the game. So that round, really, what I should have done probably is jump backwards when I saw him pushing me with a shotgun and get back to cover and maybe play for a res, because I made it 1v2, which is kind of manageable. Almost got a good team shot off the start. Again, I don't like him peeking mid, but it seems like that's just kind of my way of going. And then I messed up my peek shots there. I wasn't really playing cover. I was kind of out of it. Made it easy for him to kill me. And they brought it back to 4-4. So now it's a close game. As you can see, I'm typing to my teammates here. Play slow. I'm close to my super. So I think that's always a fine play, especially when you know you have 100 intellect and the fastest charging super, and you're doing pretty well. Like, there's a very low chance that any of them get their supers, but and it's up. We getting a team shot off the start, so kind of ends up being a moot point. We got the pick. Now it's just play slow, collapse an enemy, and if we need it, we can still always play for my super. But it was just a really good team shot off the start. And again, I might have been playing a bad angle. I don't enjoy playing that middle, but if you play with your teammates, you can kind of make things work that shouldn't. And that's something I've started to realize, is playing with your team is quite important, and they're kind of like having a kill perk at all times. They just do more damage to the enemies. So this is the first week again where I'm happy with my performance, and I feel like it's bodes well for what's to come. And I think from here on out, I might try what I mentioned in a previous video of doing live commentary, because I have a mic now that actually functions, and not my old, Xbox headset that sounds like it was underwater. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.